All right. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. It is January 23rd, 10 a.m., and we're going to be getting started with a continuation of the Write With Me's that we've been doing for the past couple weeks. Oof, that is very hot. Excuse me. So, my name is Michelle Hinojosa. I'm a staff member with Future Fiction Academy. For those who aren't aware of what Future Fiction Academy is, excuse me. Good morning, Stacy. We are we're a group of people that are educating authors on how to use AI in their writing to assist them with continuing to write. Even though the industry is changing, we're finding ways to keep up with those changes in the technology. Excuse me, I'm going to cough a second. I apologize. We're finding ways to teach authors to use the AI to keep up with technology so they can continue and have like a very successful career, even when AI starts to be used more predominantly by big companies for their own writing production companies and that sort of thing. So we're really big in education. We're really big in helping people. We're an amazing group, amazing community. So many helpful people there. I've learned so much from so many people. So that's just a little bit about where I'm from, what we're doing here. So we're going to go ahead today, and I'm going to share my screen first of all. That would be useful. Give me 1 second to do that. All right, there we go. So everyone should see my Rexia, and I'm gonna hide myself because you guys just want to see the good stuff. So I already set up my project in Rexy. I just got a little bit ahead because sometimes it takes a little while to load. So I have my magic shop loaded up here, and this is a story we've been working on. So I'm going to pull up my scene brief and just put it in here and my outline, just so I have them all on the same thing. I don't have to be flipping back and forth. Okay, so there we go. I have my auto log to Notion set up. We're going to jump into WordBanger. Now, what I did, I should really rename this. This is scene 6. Last Wednesday, we'd actually started scene 6. When I had gone over it and I had done some editing on it, I really was not happy with the way it went. It kind of veered off a little bit from the outline. So I basically chopped out like half of scene 6 because I didn't like the way it went. And so we are going to now use our prompt to continue writing from scene 6. Before we do that, though, let's just see who's here. Hello, Adam, Ingrid, Jude. Hey, nice to see you all. Thank you for joining me. Glad to see some familiar faces. Awesome. Perfect. And then Stacy, of course. Stacy is always amazing as well. She's also a staff member with Future Fiction Academy. So, hi, Stacy. Okay. So, scene 6. What I had chopped out, let me actually go into that. And I'm just going to show you briefly how much I actually cut out of it. Sometimes when you work with AI, that's just something you have to do. There's some times where you want it to go one way and it veers off so completely that you just have to kind of scrap and take what you have and kind of work with it and just start anew. But I mean, that happens with regular writing too, so I'm not really hating on it because when I'm writing without I go in and I'm constantly making changes, I'm deleting things, I'm adding things. So it's just, the same thing, but now with the AI, it's just assisting us with that process. And sometimes veering us off, so we're required to do that process. So as you can see, I actually chopped a lot out of scene 6. So I have them finding a tunnel. They find a chamber that they get kind of locked into. They're trying to figure out a way out. As they're doing certain things, the chamber's actually rumbling. So there's like this some huge force rumbling and making things scary. And that's about where I cut it out because from there I had done a lot of weird things. It had wrapped up. It actually wrapped up the entire story in this chamber when there's still like 4 chapters, 5 chapters left to go. So I'm like, yeah, absolutely not. We are not chopping this in half and get rid of all the exciting stuff that comes after this point. So we ended with some dialogue. Madame Mesquia right here. I'm gonna add her name here. Just what Madame Mesquia said. So the chamber's rumbling. Madame Mesquia is telling them, well, something's protecting the chamber. They're not sure what, but they know they have to figure out a way out. So from this point, we're gonna have them start to search the chamber. So I went ahead in my scene brief. And I'm gonna take a quick drink of tea. Okay. So I just recycled the same location settings, time period, atmosphere, because none of that is changing. The whole story is taking place in this shop. So there's no need to change that. The characters are the same for this scene as they were the last one. So for the scene objective, excuse me, Max and his magical friends, Ivy, Jackson, and Madame Esquia, must search through the clues in the round chamber. So they're going through, they're trying to find an item, like any way to get out, and they find this little fancy. What I want to happen is I want them to find this little fancy star, like puzzle box that they have to unlock. And from there, they're going to find a key to move on to the next section. So that's what I would like to see happen. And so that's what I have in this scene brief. My key elements, I just go into detail, like they discover the box in the hallway. Once they're out of that chamber in the hallway, they're going to run into a few events like that are meant to test their courage, their all of that kind of stuff. They're test their mettle, make sure they're worthy of getting through. And then at the end, there's going to be a cliffhanger for the next scene. So that's what we're going for here. I hope I typed the word third properly in narrative voice. Everything else here, narrative voice, style, preference, everything, I kept the same. I changed the emotional tone. I added eerie to it because I want it to be a little scarier, but not too scary because this is a young adult book, so we don't want to go full out Stephen King on this. We want to tone it down for the younger audience. Scene length, I'm just still going for 1,500 words. It doesn't give me that, but sometimes it gets reasonably close. Okay. And I'm telling it, continue writing chapter 6 from the point where the characters are searching the chamber. Now, this I found is very important. If I don't tell it to continue writing chapter 6 and tell it from what point I want to continue writing, sometimes it'll just start a whole new chapter 6. Sometimes it'll just jump into chapter 7. So details are key when you are prompting. You need to be very detailed with exactly what you want from the AI in order to get decent results. Hello, is it Partita? Good morning. Nice to see you here. Okay, so and then I also, just to kind of mesh that in and make sure it's giving me what I want. I also have a list of some things I wanted to include. So a 3D star-shaped puzzle, the key inside the puzzle, and then I want them to come across three events. And I'm telling the AI to get creative and just create those scary events for me. I want to see what it gives me. If I don't like them, I'll go through, I'll modify them after. But I just kind of want to see what it gives me because I have a few things in mind, but a lot of times if I mesh what I'm doing with what the AI wants, sometimes it brings up some really unique things I wouldn't have normally thought about my own because sometimes it's just so out there. And then at the end, we actually have exactly how we want the scene to end on a cliffhanger. And then again, I just reiterate, continue writing scene 6 from where it is left off. I'm going to take out these parts because these parts I don't need right here for this one. And as I'm going, I'll modify the scene brief. If there's stuff I need in the scene brief, I'll leave it in, I'll add it, I'll take things out of the scene brief. Each scene brief, I cater exactly to what I want in that scene. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into Rexy. Where the heck are you? There you are. Okay, so now we're going to go in here, and I am going to grab, excuse me, I'm going to grab my old prompt I was using. Let's see. Here we go. I'm going to grab my system prompt here because it is a fresh run through of Rexy. I want to make sure it remembers who it is. So you're an advanced AI trained as an expert junior writer with a focus on transforming story briefs into compelling prose. Your primary function is to assist in the creative writing process by expanding brief story outlines into detailed, engaging narratives. You possess a deep understanding of various literary genres, narrative structures, character development, and descriptive language. So that'll kind of be like, hey, this is who you are. This is what I want you to do. So be nice, play along. Don't give me some random stuff is basically what I want. So from here, oh, I should actually load my Notion slots, shouldn't I? Let's go in here first, and we're going to grab... Oops, wrong way. Go back. Yeah, that's right. What Notion slots? There we go. Okay, we're going to grab our Notion slots right here, and this is just all my stuff that I've done so far. And then we're going to come over here. I always forget which one it's in. There we go. Notion slots. I'm going to give those a second to refresh because I want everything I've just written in my Notion slots because I do not want to copy and paste, and I certainly do not want to retype all of that a second time. So we're going to give it a second here. Okay, perfect. I'm going to tell it read N1 because I want to make sure I reiterate who the characters are. And let's see. And then I'm going to actually... Yeah, actually, I think because I'm worried about confusing it with this, I'm going to actually come in here and I'm going to make a second supporting characters one. One of them is going to have Mr. Elias in it, and one of them is not, because I don't want them to start tossing Mr. Elias in and having him randomly appear, like popping out of that tiny little puzzle box somehow with like a little shrunken head or something. I don't want any of that to happen. So I'm just going to save myself some trouble. and just troubleshoot it before it becomes a problem. So now we're going to refresh this. And while we wait, if anyone has any questions, anyone has any concerns, anyone just has any comments, feel free to type them up in chat. I have the chat up on my other monitor, so I do see it. If I don't respond immediately, I'm probably mid-sentence, and I'll come back around and respond to whatever you have there. Okay, so we're going to do, if I could type today, read N1, N2, and we want to make sure it reads our scene brief. Let's see. I really should have reorganized these, but I didn't. But that's okay. We'll deal with it. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm a big dummy. Okay, we're actually going to move our scene brief. How about we do this? How about we move our scene brief into our Notion 21, so that way it can actually see it. That would be an amazing thing to do, wouldn't it? I'm glad I thought of that. All right, we're going to refresh one more time. My brain still thinks it's Monday, I think, so it's still slowly coming around. I can hear the gears like kind of starting to grind now as it's starting to, my brain's starting to work again. All right, there we go. So now we're just going to scroll down to see which end slot it put my story element into. Okay, so N19. I mean, I don't know why I kept this part in. Okay, perfect. So we're going to do N19. I just want to verify that was the right one. I need to organize it a little bit better in the future, but for now, we're just going to keep it like this. It is what it is. Good morning, Ingrid. Are you? Oh yeah, I saw you before. Did you have a question, Ingrid, or you were just responding to something I had said? While you're typing out, I'll go ahead and I'll read this. So read N1, N2, and N19. Please continue writing scene 6 from where. I'm just saying, please continue writing scene 6. Pick up where scene 6 left off. And I'm just reiterating because sometimes just kind of hammering it in seems to give me better results. Your results may vary. It just depends on how your prompts are and just depends on what the AI feels like doing that day. Add great detail and dialogue. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ingrid. She was saying that she loved the idea of putting the brief in the end slots. Yeah, it makes it a little bit easier because I don't know. I hate copying and pasting. If I could save myself 2 seconds by not copying and pasting, I'm going to do it because to me it adds up eventually. Okay, so add great detail and dialogue specific to each character's personality. Okay, please write at least 1,500 words. I'm not going to get that, but I'm going to put it anyway. Ingrid said it's amazing how much stuff you could fit into end slots. It really is. And one of the best things is with Rexy, which is a software that's proprietary to the FFA. When people sign up for FFA for all the educational things, they actually get access to Rexy included. So it's a really big thing. Rexy is amazing software, in my opinion. I might be a little bit biased, but because I use it every day, but I use it every day because it's good and it gives me the results I want. So take that as you will. But yes, end slots in Rexy now are unlimited. I could have 5 trillion end slots if I want. I don't know how that's going to affect how fast the page loads. At some point, I might want to split it into multiple different end slot pages, but it's unlimited. Before it was locked in at 21, but now the world is your oyster. Go out there and create end slot chaos. Okay, so please write at least 1,500 words and end the scene on a cliffhanger is what we're going to tell it. So we're going to do that. And then I actually finally went up and set up my Claude in here. So why don't we have some fun with Claude today? So we're going to try this with Claude. I don't remember what the max length is, but I'm going to do 4096 and we'll see what happens. Excuse me while I take a drink of tea. Okay, so we're going to play with Claude today. I didn't have it set up last time. That was just me just running into time constraints. But now that I have it set up, let's do it. Let's see what Claude gives us. And I actually have Claude through AWS. I don't have an actual Claude key yet. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anthropic, if you're listening, I would love my own API key for Claude. Just saying. All right, so let's go ahead and let's bang this. And we're going to see what it gives us. So here's the here's the thing I learned very quickly. Right here it's saying this is a 1550 word continuation of chapter 6. That is a horrible lie. The last one I ran it told me was I think it told me it was 1496 words. I went and actually did a word count and it was 800 words. So do not believe this. Go through and verify how many words it is because the LLMs like to kind of give us kind of deceive us a little bit into thinking it's doing above what we want, when sometimes it's not. I've never actually had that number so far match what it's actually given me, so take that with a grain of salt. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna jump into here into auto write so we can take a look at what it gave us. So because I'm curious how many words it actually gave us, I'm going to grab this, all of this right here. Really? It actually put in here my story. As the cliffhanger ends, chapter 6, chapter 7 will pick up with Max's experience on the other side. No. The toys rush to the portal, appearing what had taken their friend. No, they're actually going in with him. Okay. With a moment's pause, the enchanted objects shared a worried look and then followed Max into the swirling portal. We're just going to put that because I am not going to end it with them all gone because they're actually key elements to the future parts of the scene. So I want to make sure that they all are still in there and they haven't been abandoned by the story. They've been eaten by the story monster. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, that said it was 1550. If you look here at the word count, it's actually 882 words. Right down here at the bottom, 882. So like I said, take what it's telling you it is with a grain of salt because it's usually not. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is come into here and I'm going to grab all this. Even though I hate copying and pasting, I'm just going to do that real quick. What I also do sometimes is I'll rename this and then I'll just move it where I want. But I want to have this in its, I want to have this in, for continuity purposes, I want to keep this in the auto write just so I know where it's at. So I'm just going to come back out here. And in my Notion 21, we're going to do scene 6 here. And we're going to copy this into here because I want them both in scene 6. I don't want two separate scene 6s. So I just copy that into the original scene 6. So what we have is, okay, so they've entered a tunnel that leads them into a chamber. Inside the chamber, it's like a round chamber with a bunch of shelves, bookcases, and there's a bunch of trinkets and books and magical looking items. So they're pretty overwhelmed. This chamber is just covered in different items and things, and they don't know what is useful to them, what is not. They don't know if there's booby traps. They don't know if anything's cursed. So there's a lot of trepidation going in, which of course will add into this. But first, let's go ahead and take a look. So after what felt like an eternity, a tunnel opened up into a vast chamber. Max and the toys stood in awe as they took in their surroundings. The chamber was filled with shelf upon shelf of ancient artifacts. I already said that. Okay, in the center of the chamber stood a large stone pedestal upon which sat a beautifully crafted golden key. Max's eyes widened with wonder as he approached the pedestal. So I have this in there, the pedestal with the golden key, because I kind of want that to be a trap. When you walk into a room, if you're a treasure hunter or if you're trying to find a clue, and you see this pedestal with a bright golden key, I mean, you're probably going to assume it's not something to grab, but this is a kid in enchanted objects. So I put this in there as a lure to lure them away from the other items to kind of be something a little bit more intense. So then, look, Max whispered, his voice barely audible. It's beautiful. Jackson, unable to contain his assignment, hopped off Max's shoulder and scampered towards the pedestal. "Let me try it!" he exclaimed, his voice filled with anticipation. But as Jackson reached out to grab the key, the chamber rumbled and shook. Dust fell from the ceiling and the shelves around them trembled. Max and the toys exchanged worried glances, and Max grabbed Jackson and backed away from the pedestal. "What's happening?" Ivy asked, her voice filled with concern. "Something is protecting the chamber," Madame Mesquia said. "What is?" Max looked over her with a frown. Whatever it was felt powerful and unfriendly. Could they even stand a chance against something that could rumble the walls? So the toys continued exploring the vast chamber. I'm going to want to probably add something in there because it's a little bit jarring. The toys continued exploring the vast chamber, marveling at the intricate murals painted across the stone walls. Max ran his hand along the depictions. "Please do not do that. You're going to ruin those paintings." Sorry, I'm just imagining, like, in the museums, you can't touch the paintings because the oils in your hands could eventually, like, mess with the paints and the yellow and all that. I'm just being a geek right now. Okay, so Max ran his hand along the depictions, filling the tiny grooves and ridges that formed each image. "These murals must hold clues about how to break the curse," said Max. He turned to Madame Mesquia. "Can you sense anything from them?" Okay, so Madame Mesquia closes her eyes. She places her hand on the wall. She said, "I see a forest glade in the gathering of mystical beings. They're conducting some kind of ritual." So that's interesting. Let's see. Maybe the ritual is how Malachi placed the curse, exclaimed Jackson. "Perhaps reversed it will undo the spell." I like this because we're referencing Malachi again. Malachi is not a character I actually created, but the AI pulled him in, I think, 2 chapters ago as like one of the villains, and so I just went with it because I thought it was a good touch. So that's what I'm saying with the AI. A lot of it is about collaboration. You work with the AI, you modify what the AI is giving you to get a really good end result. Okay, let's see. "We need to find where this ritual took place," said Ivy thoughtfully. Her gaze drifted to another section of murals. "Over here, these images show a circle of standing stones deep in the forest." So Max did not know about the curse yet. So we want to have Max actually react to this um, with a startled expression. Max turned, or Max is holding him. Max turned Jackson to face him. "What curse?" Jackson gave a nervous glance to Madame Mesquia, and I'm not going to write a whole lot. I'm just going to add this in so that way when I'm editing it, full edit later, I know that this is kind of the way I want it to go. Nervous glance to Madame Mesquia. "Curse? Who said anything about a curse?" And then right here, I'm going to put a note to myself. Add in details and dialogue of Jackson attempting to backtrack from talk of a curse. Max does not cave in. And let's see. The enchanted objects. No, actually, hold on. Let's not do that. Because this curse actually plays into the story, in my previous scene, I had it to where there was a spot in there where Jackson could actually explain about the curse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a note here, link this previous chapter, and have Jackson tell the story of the curse. I'm actually going to backtrack to the previous chapter and write that in because I think that's going to flow a lot nicer than them all of a sudden during this rumbling, during this search, now having this long story time about the curse. So that's going to flow better in my opinion. So I'm just going to put that note in here to make the change. Okay, so but we need to find out where this ritual took place, said Ivy thoughtfully. Her gaze drifted to another section of murals. Over here, these images show a circle of standing stones deep in the forest. Okay, they gathered around, carving depicted monoliths. I'm going to scan through here and make sure they found the little box. Toys hurried through twisting tunnels. What the heck? You put edge. Okay, wait. We could search for days and find it. He pointed to a symbol etched above the stone circle image. 3 intersecting spirals. I've seen this marking before. It was carved into a strange portal we passed earlier. Let's check it out. No, they don't do that. Okay, so all of this is wrong. Well, let's see what it does. This is not where I wanted the story to go, but let's see if it's something that I can actually use and modify the story. So the toys hurry back through the twisting tunnels. They arrive at a large an archway glowing with an eerie light. The same spirals were engraved upon the stone frame. It must be some kind of magical door, but where does it lead? Best not to find out yet. And then Jackson now apparently can spirit walk? No. No. AI, you have gone insane. Let's see. Nope, nope. Absolutely not. Okay, so that is just a cluster of a mess, which is a nice way to say it's completely screwed it up. So there must be something in my prompt that confused it. So I'm going to go back and revisit this prompt real quick. Because when something like this happens, a lot of times it's just the AI misunderstanding something. So scene brief 6, okay. So we're going to modify the prompt. I'm going to keep what I have in there so far in scene 6 so far because I can have it continue from where it left off. So let's cut out. Let's see. Toys gathered on Ivy. Okay, so we're going to cut all of this out. Okay. And then Madame Esquia. Ever the voice of reason. Cleared her throat and spoke with authority. We can't be distracted by fancy paintings. We need to find the way to open the chamber door to continue on. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there so it kind of triggers the AI. Hey, stop this. Stop this thing. Do it right. Okay, so let's go in here. We're going to check out to the scene brief, and we're going to see what could have confused it. And if anyone sees anything that they think could have confused it, please chime in. We're just going to, as the AI would say, we're in this together. We're going to figure it out together. Okay, anyways, that was me being dorky for a second. Let's see. Key events. It literally says they discover a puzzle box. We're going to put a puzzle box inside the chamber. We're inside the rumbling chamber. It is in the shape of a three-dimensional star. In order to solve the mystery, in order to open the chamber door, they must solve this puzzle box. Okay, so they must spin, push, and pull the pieces until it forms a cube. After opening the locked door in the rumbling chamber, a hallway is revealed. Great. In the hallway, they encounter the events. Okay, so hopefully this helps it stay on track. It knows that this puzzle box is in the chamber. They are not leaving the chamber. Find it in this chamber. Let's go back down here. Continue writing chapter scene for the point where the characters are searching for the chamber for the way out. The characters remain in the chamber for the majority of this. Remain in the chamber until they find and unlock the star-shaped puzzle box and continue. Okay, we're just going to puzzle box. Period. We're not going to confuse it. Follow the scene brief and end the scene 6 with a cliffhanger of Max entering the portal. We're actually going to take that out because I think that's also what's confusing it. Although, no, it had the portal in there. Let's try that. And end the scene with scenes after. Oh, no, we're just going to do that. Okay, let's see if that works. I've literally said like 500 times, 3D shaped star puzzle. And the AI is like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. But we're going to make it do it. Okay, so let's try this again. Sometimes this just ends up being trial and error, and that's, you know, it's actually one of the reasons I kind of like it, because sometimes it is like a little puzzle. You got to figure out what's going on and figure out what to fix. Sometimes it get a little frustrating, but in the end, I mean, if I'm getting pretty good results, it's worth a little bit of detective work, in my opinion. So we're going to let that run for a second. I think this is actually pretty good, because if you guys do run into this problem while you're running it, don't get disheartened. Just go adjust the prompt, adjust what you're asking for, reword it. Sometimes the AI just needs things explained a little bit differently before it gives you the results you want, but don't get discouraged. This is a learning process. This is a new technology which is constantly evolving, so just stick with it. And if you want a good group to learn with, if you want a really supportive community that's willing to jump in there, help you adjust your prompts, help you figure out what's going on, the FFA Future Fiction Academy is amazing for that. We have a huge Discord group of people willing to help, and we all, as the AI says, are in this together, and we're going to figure this out together and get through the world of self-publishing with AI. I will get off my soapbox. And I already refreshed this, but I'm going to do it again just because I always do it twice. I have a weird thing where I have to refresh it twice before I can run something. Just play along. Don't ask. All right, let's see. Okay, so here we go. So we're keeping the same Insta1. We're keeping the same Insta1B. I've changed the scene brief. So let's see how much of a difference that scene brief change has made. Excuse me. We're going to click on Let's Bang. Let's see. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to change some of my parameters. If that doesn't work, I'm going to jump into ChatGPT, because sometimes it's just a matter of one LLM misbehaving that day. Let's see. I'm just looking to see if they actually find the box. Anyone can respond. Max says, hey, grabbing a lit torch from the source. No, it has gone completely off the rails again. Really, AI? Okay, let's see. No, Ivy is a mouse. She's only supposed to be able to turn into clothing. All right, now. It's set out to test me today. Let's change the parameters. If anyone has any suggestions or anything they want to see tried, always feel free to ask. I am just going to change my parameters here. I'm going to bring my temperature down. We're going to bring it down to 0.6 and see what happens. And we're going to change top P to 0.8. And we're going to see what happens with that. Let's see what that does. And sometimes it really is just a matter of changing things and just going from there. Let's try this one more time. And if it doesn't work this time, we're going to attempt it in GPT 3.5 16K, and we're going to see. Okay, so Max is filling along the moss-covered walls. Why are they... These people are, like, infatuated with these freaking walls. What the heck is going on? She says only reflection. So now they found a brass mirror, which hangs on a wall. So at least they're keeping on track with this wall fetish. Let's see. He held up a mirror, a portal. No. Okay, you know what? We're going to stop this. I do not like it. Like I said, some days you have better results than others. We are just going to move on from this. We're going to jump into, let's see, OpenAI. We're going to do 16K turbo. We're going to keep our temperature, top P. Let's change this. Let's do 0.6 for top P and temperature 0.8. If this does it again with 16K, I know there is a huge issue with my prompt and I need to go back and revisit it. But that's the reason I'm testing it at 16K, because if 16K works, it could just be Claude doesn't like to cooperate today, or it could be Claude is having a miscommunication in my prompt, whereas maybe the GPT will not. So let's see. Let's just try this as is first and see what we get. And if this does not work, like I said, we'll go and you're supposed to continue. Okay, that's fine. Again with the tapestries. Let's see. This one, brilliant chance to uncover the secrets that lay hidden with these walls. Madame Masquer's sharp eyes scan the room, her mind focused on the task at hand. If I see a star-shaped box, I'm going to keep this. If I do not, then we're going to actually just revisit the scene brief and just change a lot of stuff. Either that, or it might be better to just go ahead and write exactly what I want in scene 6 and then just feed that to it. But I'm just seeing if they find this little box. So she scanned the room. Madame Masquer scanned the room. Let's see. She's searching for hidden passages or symbols. Ivy becomes a flower for some reason. So that way she could take in every detail. I don't understand how a flower would be a good option for that, but hey, whatever works for you, Ivy. You do you, girl. Okay, Max's eye fell upon her tapestry. Again with the tapestries. I cannot escape these stupid tapestries. Oh my god, that's hilarious. Oh jeez. Okay, let's see. The room spun. Nope. 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 We're gonna let this run. We're just gonna let it run in the background. We're gonna revisit the scene brief because obviously it just does not like what I have. Okay, so actually I have an idea. I'm gonna duplicate the scene brief because I want to keep this one to mess around with later and see what was going on. But I actually do have a workaround idea. So let's duplicate this one. We're gonna move this one down to the bottom and put old. And let's see. Confusing to AI. That way I know that did not work. All right, and then we're going back in here and we're going to delete this part and then, excuse me, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, so the setting I'm keeping, that's perfect. The setting is not going to change. That cannot be what the issue is because I had a lot of good stuff happen with this setting. Okay, the atmosphere, oh, that's fine. Marrying characters involved, that's absolutely fine. Plot points. Scene objective. Max and his friends discover a 3-dimensional puzzle box in the shape of a heart. They must adjust. They must adjust. I'm trying to think of how you would describe, like how you do a Rubik's Cube. They must. I cannot think of like how you would describe when you do the Rubik's Cube. But have you? I don't know if anyone has ever seen like Clive Barker's I forget the name of it, the one with the pinhead. This is the character where they have the puzzle box and when you twist it and turn it, it like unlocks and it. When it unlocks, it's like Pandora's box. Everything breaks loose. But I'm trying to think of the way you would describe that, and I just went blank. I'm just put they must solve the puzzle box by changing its piece. Oh, okay, by adjusting its pieces. There we go. Adjusting its pieces to form a cube. Yay! There it is. That's what I want. Inside the cube is a skeleton key, which unlocks the door to the next hallway. If the AI does not understand that, I do not know what it is doing today. So, again, they discover the puzzle box. And you know what? I'm just going to do that. I just wanted to find that stupid box and find the hallway. And once it does that, we can have it rewrite the scene again and just tell it what we want. So we are literally just going to do that part. Let's see. Where they discover the puzzle box. Discover the star-shaped puzzle box. Not start. Star-shaped puzzle box. And begin to solve it. All right. And then we're going to end it at the hallway. And the cliffhanger of Max and his friends entering this scary hallway. Scary. Okay, so that is going to be our scene brief. We're going to take it back 5 notches and make it just as simple and plain as we can. Just so we could get the result we want. Once we get that result, I'm either going to add more details to this scene to make it its own chapter, and then the next scene will start out with them in the hallway. I actually like that a lot better. If we have this chapter only about them finding this puzzle and solving it, that might actually be better, because it seems like giving the AI too much to do in one scene is what might be confusing it. So let's try this. So we're gonna. Did I just refresh? I do not remember if I just refreshed that. But actually, this is good. It's good that we had a little bit of failure here today, because it's nice to be able to show that, working around it. Do not get frustrated. Do not throw your hands up. Find ways to make it work. Find ways to readjust your prompt. Find ways to reword it. Because the more you do that, the more you practice fixing what the AI is not doing, the smoother you're going to have, the smoother your writing with the AI is going to be, because you're going to learn what works, what doesn't work. And you're going to learn that sometimes what works one day does not work another. And you just have to make changes. You have to be adaptable. Let's see, where the heck is my scene 6 brief? It's up here somewhere, right? Hold on. Where the heck are you? Scene 6. You should be directly after Hook. Right, this is the right one. Yep, so you should be after Hook. Where is Hook? Setting dialogue style, team, story elements, outline. Ending. Pitch, Hook. There we go. Okay, here we go. So N19. So that's there. Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to try to run it. Since we already have 16K set up, we're just going to run with 16K. If it actually does well, then I'm going to run it with Claude as well, just to do a compare and contrast and just have some better details. Let's try this. I hope you all are enjoying this. Watching me struggle a little bit. It happens to all of us. So let's see. The chamber was dimly lit, the air heavy with anticipation as Max, Madame Mesquia, Jackson, and Ivy cautiously made their way through the hidden tunnels. Really? No. Let's see. Okay. As he ventured deeper into the chamber, Max was curious to get better of him. He could have asked Madame Mesquia, do you think there's a way to reverse the curse to bring you back to your original form? What the heck? Okay, Max nodded his determination unwavering. Again with the tapestries. Okay. Let's see. Again with the tapestries. They're still on the tapestries. These characters are like fetishizing, I can't say that word, tapestries for some reason. I'm like in the Curse of the Tapestries right now. Maybe we should rename this story The Curse of the Tapestries. Let's see. Portals can be unpredictable. Yep, so this didn't work either. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here and we're going to start from scratch. Okay, so read N9. Okay, read N1, N1, N2, and N19. Yeah. Please write scene 6 and include only Max and the group entering a great round chamber with bookshelves, and I'm just going to put with shelves aligning each wall. There cannot be tapestries if there are shelves everywhere. The shelves are filled with ancient relics, books, and trinkets. One such trinket is a star-shaped puzzle box, which holds the key to unlocking the chamber door, the round chamber door. Let's try that. Thank you, Death by Diva. Just donated $5. Much appreciated. Let's see. Okay, so let's try this. So we're going to have it reference N1, N2, and N19. I'm kind of worried about it referencing N19 because it's not having very much luck reading N19. But because I changed it so much, we're going to try it this way. If not, we're going to figure something else out. So let's see. At this point, it's just kind of become the war of the tapestries. Like, I feel like I need to go into this story and burn every tapestry that I see because they're just getting in the way of everything. Okay, they cautiously step into the great round chamber. Okay. Shelves lined each wall filled with the array of ancient relics. Okay, no tapestries yet. We're on the right track. We have one part of this battle. There is not a tapestry yet. So we're doing good so far. All right, let's see. Um Oh my god! Yes! It did it! We did it, guys! They found the star-shaped puzzle box. We got it. Like, the story can end now. They found the dang puzzle box. All right. So that is fun. So 20 minutes later, we finally found this stupid puzzle box, but I am ecstatic we found it. And you know what? I'm so happy. Okay. So as I said, keep keep trying. You will eventually persevere. You just have to keep pushing and changing things and modifying things until the AI gives you what you want. But please, please, please never let it discourage you. Because as you could see, I mean, this can happen at any point. We were doing pretty good. We had 5 decent chapters, and all of a sudden, chapter 6, we hit a brick wall. But now we have what we want. We have the puzzle box. So it seems like the problem was I was feeding the AI too much information, and it seemed it was having trouble identifying what was in the chamber versus what was in the tapestry filled hallway versus what was behind the locked door. So in this case, it was just I needed to be a little more succinct with exactly what I wanted. And when we did that, well, now we have this. So I'm going to read this because I'm really excited we found the puzzle box. So the flickering lights of their lantern cast eerie shadows on the walls, making the objects on the shelves seem to come alive. Max's heart raced with excitement as he scanned the room, his eyes drawn to a particular trinket that stood out among the rest, a star-shaped puzzle box. We got it. Story can end now. Okay, the puzzle box sat on a small pedestal in the center of the chamber, its intricate carvings and golden accents gleaming in the dim light. Max's curiosity surged, and he couldn't help but reach out to touch it. As his fingers grazed the smooth surface, a jolt of energy coursed through him, sending a shiver down his spine. Guys, look at this, Max exclaimed, his voice filled with wonder. I think this puzzle box holds. No, you don't think that. He does not think the puzzle box holds the key because there's no way he can know that. Talk about god modding. If you're not familiar with the term, god modding is when you're like playing a role playing game like a Dungeons and Dragons or something, and your character just knows things they have no way of knowing. So we are taking that out because that is not a thing. And even Madame Esque is like, yes, I am omnipresent as well. I know everything. No, you don't. Okay. I'm still happy we got the puzzle box, but now we're going to modify this. And I don't know why I'm modifying it in here instead of modifying it in the auto write so it actually saves. So let's do that real quick. I am happy we got a star-shaped box. It's the little things in life you have to enjoy, guys. All right, let's see auto write. We're going to come down here. And we are going to say, yes, you go away. All of you go away, please. And we are going to paste this. Yay! Okay, so let's see. Guys, look at this, Max exclaimed, his voice filled with wonder as he held up the trinket. Madame Mesquia, her eyes filled with anticipation, stepped closer. No. Madame Mesquia stepped closer to examine the puzzle box. Okay, we're going to say that is certainly an interesting item. I can feel some sort of power radiating from it. And I think that's okay because she has a magical item. She could sense the power, but she's not going to look at it and be like, hey, puzzle box. She's not going to do what I did and say the story is over. We're not going to allow her to do that because no. Okay. Jackson, always eager for a challenge, grinned mischievously. Well, let's put our heads together and solve the puzzle, shall we? Grinned mischievously. Okay. Jackson grinned mischievously and grabbed the trinket from Max and began to push and pull at the pieces. He's going to say, and then he's going to say, Amazing. I love puzzles. Okay, so he says, amazing, I love puzzles. So he's just having a blast playing with this thing. Let's see. Ivy, her shape-shifting form resembling a delicate butterfly. No. This lady is just like, she's like a little kid with a new toy. Like every second she's like, look, a toy, look, a toy, look, a toy, and just changing shape. Like, Ivy, it's not that necessary. Ivy floated over to Jackson and watched from over his shoulder. I sense that each of the star's points represents a different element. We must align them correctly to unlock the door. I'm gonna leave that in just because that could work. I mean, saying they represent different elements. No, let's say I wonder if solving it will give us any clues on how to proceed. How about that? There we go. Okay, so I wonder if solving it will give us any clues on how to proceed. So there we go. That's better. And then Max's mind raced with excitement as he said the intricate carvings on the puzzle box. Okay, so I like this because now they're explaining why they think it might be a different symbol. So this part I'm okay with, but I don't like this race with excitement. Let's see. Max stepped closer. No, actually, Max, let's see, reached out for the trinket and gently took it from Jackson. Unlike Jackson, he's not a jerk. He's not just going to yank it out of his hand. He's like, yay, yoink, but very nicely. Okay. Each point of the star seemed to correspond to a different symbol. A flame, a wave, a leaf, a gust of wind, and a shining star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, good. He realized that aligning the symbols correctly would be the key. No, he didn't. There didn't seem to be any order to follow. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any order to follow, but as he turned the item in his hand, a piece, the piece representing the wave, with the piece with the wave symbol on it, shifted under his touch. There we go. So we're going to get this part out. Determination shining. Okay, we're going to take that part out. Okay, and then we're going to excitement filled the air as Max and his friends exchange triumphant glances. They had successfully solved the puzzle. No, we're not doing this wrap up. Okay, as the door swung to the side, the door slid open. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put that there so I know that's where I want it to go. And then right here, there didn't seem to be an order to follow, but as he turned the item in his hand, the piece with the wave symbol on it shifted under his touch. With an excited gasp, Max held the trinket up to the others. The pieces move. We probably have to shape it, change its shape into something else. Jackson grabbed for the trinket again and barely managed to grasp it before Max attempted to yank it away. His fingers deftly, and we have about 5 minutes left, so we're just going to finish this up. Deftly smoothed over each point of the star as he began to reshape it. Max and the others watched as the star went. Let's see, it went from a star. We're going to say it went from a star to kind of a. I'm trying to think of what the star could turn into to get into a square. Actually, as the star's points began to disappear and reveal the shape of a cube. There we go. All right. I spelled disappear wrong. It's 1S, yes. Shape of a cube. And then with a triumphant shout, Jackson grasped the cube in both hands and began to hop around excitedly. I did it. I solved it. Okay, I did it. I solved it. He's all excited. He's like a little kid. He's a little marionette. So he's bouncing around. He's all happy. He's like, I did it. I did it. I did it. Like that. Okay. Anyway, that was really weird. Okay. Okay. And then let's see. As he bounded around, there was the sound of a heavy click. Let's see. Heavy click and stone scraping against stone. The locked door to the chamber slid open, revealing an intricate glowing gate with a keyhole in the center of it. Okay. Okay, so he solved it, and as he solves it, he's dancing around with it. Behind them, the heavy stone kind of slides aside and reveals there's a gate there with a keyhole. Okay, so we're going to take out this excitement part. Oh, wow, plunging into darkness. I actually like that. Okay, we're going to keep that part for now. Okay, so he slid open, revealing an intricate glowing gate with a keyhole in the center of it. And we're going to make this just like a dumb happy coincidence, because that kind of amuses me. Jackson rushed forward with the cube, tripping over an uneven piece of stone flooring. As he tumbled to the ground, the cube fell from his hands and crashed heavily into the floor. Okay, at first, it seemed as if the cube would shatter. At first, it seemed as if the cube would shatter since the impact. I'm going to go back and rewrite this, obviously. I'm just putting in this so I remember what I'm doing. Since the impact pushed or bent in one corner of the cube. Max rushed forward to pick up the cube to make sure it wasn't destroyed. And as he did, the corner piece clicked back into place, and a trap in a hidden chamber was opened. Inside of the cube was a silver. Oh, we are at the time where I just got distracted. Okay, so we're going to have inside of the cube was a single skeleton key that matched the keyhole of the door. Okay, so right there, we have a pretty good, it took a while, but we actually have a pretty good chapter. We have the, stop my screen share. We finally found the puzzle box, which is amazing. We have a pretty good solid foundation of them finding it, of how it was solved, how they kind of dumbed their way into opening up to get the key. So all in all, I think despite some of the challenges of this, it went pretty well. In the end, we got the result we wanted, or rather, I got the result I wanted. But that doesn't matter. But the result that was wanted was gotten. That's very bad grammar. Through perseverance. So like I said, please don't get discouraged when you're working with AI. Just keep plugging at it. And if you ever run into an issue like this, if you go ahead and you come and join us in the FFA, which I really hope to see you all there, we have an amazing group of people that you could reach out to and get assistance with. Maybe someone has an idea of how to modify the prompt to get what you want. Maybe someone has an idea of what to do in the story to kind of change things up, make it a little more exciting, everything like that. So I really hope to see you all in the Future Fiction Academy. There's a little banner thingy right down there, which has the information. So everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me, and ta-ta. And thank you, Ingrid, very much. Yes, we powered through it. All right. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.